everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Sketchbook Chronicles. Today we're going to draw the basic anatomy of the hand. First, let's draw the back of the hand. There are a lot of tendons, bones, and little separate muscles in the hand, but we'll just cover a few basics like flexor and abductor tendons and muscles. Now, from the back view of the hand, we can see the tendons of the extensor communis digitorum coming down from the finger joints all the way down to the wrist. And these tendons help extend the fingers. Kind of blocking those in a little bit just from the knuckles, and then kind of give those a little more rendering there so you can see what I'm talking about. Those tendons right there that I'm kind of giving a little rendering to in between, they'll run right down to the wrist and come right out the back part of the wrist and help the hand extend those fingers. Kind of clean this up a little bit. And you can see here where I'm just drawing that wristband tendon over the top, or ligament, and then these other tendons, they come right down through there, through the wrist. You can see that extender. And dress up the thumb a little bit here. And then we'll work on the finger a little bit. I don't want to do too much on that because the basic view here is the hand. Let's kind of move this out of the way a little bit. And then let's draw a finger. A basic finger anatomy really quick. Here, there are three main joints and sections in the finger. Start from the hand and make a gesture to gauge the length, and then just divide the finger into three different sections. And the sections closest to the hand will form through the following section. Each section fits into the next like a sprocket. You can see I've just kind of indicated the knuckle in that finger. And the first section is below, closer to the hand, number 1, and then number 2, and then number 3. And you can look at those as joints as well. But you got the knuckle, and then you have the middle joint, and then the finger joint. But I just divided them into sections and indicated the joints there. We'll reduce that down and move that out of your way so we can draw a side view of the hand. A basic side view is really nice, but this was a little harder to do because I'm drawing my own hand during this demonstration. But the best models to use when learning the anatomy is live models. So this is just an example of how a side view of the hand will look. The hand view changes with the slightest adjustments. So you could spend months, even years, studying the hand. What a wonderful world to explore for sure. But because there are so many different angles and movements, it's quite in depth. But I think just a side view of kind of what we were looking at earlier without the tendons and things like that showing through. I just wanted to give you just a basic drawing of the hand from a side view. And notice that first and second knuckle, and then the third I'm kind of indicating there. That second finger, the middle finger there. I love drawing the hand. The hand is it's a lot of fun, very challenging. And if you're having any kind of trouble, just do what I'm doing and just look at your own hand. Move your hand in a different pose and just take a look at your own hand. What are you seeing? And draw what you see. It takes a lot of practice. Remember, repetition is very important. Do it over and over again. Just do some slight indications here. Clean that up a little bit. Let's move that out of the way. Take a look at the palm of the hand here. Okay, good. Let's draw the palm of the hand now. There are several major muscles that make up the palm of the hand. And there are two muscles that work with the thumb, and they're called the abductor pollicis and the flexor brevis pollicis. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. And I'm not trying to get you confused with any medical terminology, but it's just the muscle that just kind of works the thumb back and forth. They both work together, extending and retracting the thumb. And then, of course, there are two major muscles just below the little finger. I've got that little finger. See, I'm just gesturing out the length of the finger there, just to make sure I kind of get the placement right. Put the pad of the finger tip down, and then divide those fingers up into three. But notice that muscle that I'm drawing right now, those are the two major muscles that are, or muscle groups, I should say. There's more than two muscles, but the muscle groups are right there below that little finger. And those are actually also called flexor and abductors, but they're flexor and abductor minis. Interesting name. And then, of course, the tendons on the bottom of the hand, they'll run through the palm of the hand and work in conjunction with the extensor communis digitorum, I guess, if I'm pronouncing that right, on the back of the hand. Kind of clean this up a little bit and make sure our proportions are right. That's always a challenge when doing the hand, just making sure things are as they should be. Dressing this up a little bit here. I think that little finger is a little bit too small. We need to adjust that, lengthen that out a little bit. Get some distortion. Usually the tip of the little finger would be pretty close to being level with that last knuckle on that third finger, the ring finger. Clean that up a little bit. That about wraps it up for today's lesson. I hope you enjoyed it. Remember to like and subscribe, and join me in the next lesson where we'll draw the muscles in the face. See you next time, and you guys remember to draw a lot and have a lot of fun and enjoy the process. That's the most important thing, is enjoying the process, because this is a life's journey, making sure that we continue to draw and learn and work as much as we can in learning the anatomy of the human form, because it's a lifelong process. There are people that are far much more advanced than others, and but that just gives us that extra desire to keep working.